I grew up in the Lockleary area. Spent most of my life there. You there? Why you there? Say, go ahead first.
Don't try and ask me no sender.
You should have go first.
I like Kerry boys.
Well,
Stony
I
dogs.
at Lockleary, at Lockleary, well, we were very active set at Lockleary growing up. I mean, there were a set of us who were neighbors, and we were always on the beach. That's one thing about Lockleary, guys. We were always on the beach, riding waves, trying to go Rat Island to go and get Akis. All of us grew up either football, cricket, basketball. I stuck with the basketball eventually after getting a pluck, playing football, on the knee. And was part of the Vidbutai Cultural Club, so I spent most of my time in a lot of activities, gaming activities and so on. We basically had a lot of fun growing up. I basically had a lot of fun growing up Lockleary.
I grew up in Balata. My grandfather had some land there and he basically built houses for his children. So it was a little community. I had all my cousins and aunts next door. We were very, very active, climbing trees, going by the river, catching crayfish, anything to do with the outdoors, or with farming because we had a lot of animals. So it was very interesting and it was always very homey. I always had family around me. So family has always been a very important part of my growing up. We have a mutual friend, Rohan. I knew Rohan through the
Yeah, Rohan, the Rohan.
through the Lockleary church group. I decided to be a good girl, so I started to go to church. So I met Rohan. Rohan kept telling me there's a friend of his he wants me to meet. And he called him his cousin. There's a cousin of his he wants me to meet. And I kept on saying, no, I don't want to meet him. He's like, I really, really want you to meet this friend. He tried once or twice, but I never showed up. One afternoon, he called me. They were by the church, by the cathedral, sitting on that wall. They always used to sit there. And he called me, and not knowing he was there, told me come to take something. And on coming, I realized Jerry was there, so he introduced me to him. It was a group of us, and then we met, and then we all went. There's a place in the CDC where we all went to eat hot bread, butter, and soft drinks. So I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
So this is how we actually met. Well, that was a very long time. I was still at school. He had just finished school, so it was like 15 years ago. So we were friends. So as I said, we remained friends for a very long time. It was a group of us who, if there's a party or a social event, we will all link up, we will all go, we'll do fun things together, go down Soufre, go try to climb the Pitos. I never made it up, but we would always do things as a group. Jerry and I became very close in that group, to the point where we got to know each other on a more personal level, where we realized we had a lot of similarities in the way we were brought up, things we went through, and we connected on that. So our friendship grew from that experience.
The friendship just went to another level, and we shared a lot of personal experiences together. And some way I just believe God just worked it out. It just worked out. Because I remember initially she said to me, oh, I feel we're going to get married. I'm like, what? No, that's even before they had cell phones. So that's to show you. And lo and behold, I'm like, wait. But I said to her, no. And then look at me now, but it grew beyond just friends, buddies, to the point we knew each other. And it just flowed from there.
It grew to a point where I knew him so much. I remember one time I was in the States and something just told me to call him. I need to call him. On calling him, I found out that he was in an accident actually. So there was this connection where we would always check up, we would always follow through with one another. We got to a point where we were a support system, an encouragement for one another. Spiritual, emotional, we would talk, we would speak. I could speak to him about everything. He is my best friend. We've always had similar goals. I think this is one thing because we both work towards the same thing. We both knew that we never wanted to work for somebody for the rest of our lives. We both had a passion of being business owners
And independent.
After we got married in 2008, in 2009, when the world was going through we got married August 2008 and registered our company in September 2008. So we started from the very beginning with our goals and what we had set out for our lives. When the world went through the recession in 2009, we decided, okay, this is a good time for us to really focus on our company, because we realized one day you could be employed, the following day your employer could tell you, you know what, because of the way things are going, we no longer could keep you. So this is when we decided on to really pushing our goal, our dream, and our passion, which is opening up a couple of businesses together.
Okay. So a couple of businesses.
We do have about 3 or 4 now.
We have 4, and we're just about to establish a 5th one.
Yes.
Just to give a synopsis of each, the first one really is Pillar Incorporated, and the name, I mean, we realize in construction there's a lot of things happening to people, both client and contractor. Our motto is to bring change and innovation, and we thought that we would be able to make a difference in the lives of people wanting to build, wanting to purchase land, wanting to manage different contracts and different projects for them, even if they're not on island, because we've heard a lot of horror stories, particularly. So we've really sought to make that difference, to bring that level of quality assurance to people, both locally and foreign alike. We have a lot of foreign companies that we partner with to bring new products. One of the new products that we're really working on is the solar panels, which is almost like a roofing felt. You don't have the conventional system you have to fasten down on the roof. You could roll it out, sticks on, and you connect it to the system where it could power your entire home. So we've been working with the government on that. And through that initiative now, under Pillar, we established EcoPro, which is an environmentally friendly company, basically dealing with everything that's pertaining to construction and homes, environmentally friendly. So whether it be solar technology, whether it be products for in the home, whether it be new types of building materials, we are actually exploring and doing a lot of research along those lines. One of the other components that we realize is that prices of materials, people paying for any conventional material for their homes, it was very expensive. And we decided to establish a network of companies between Miami, some in the Caribbean, for particularly the purchases of material, for instance, steel, for instance, lumber, windows, doors, so that they could get at a much more economical price, because we realized that prices had been going up. Of course, monopolies had been established locally between the hardware suppliers, and people basically had seldom any option besides what they had to receive locally, unless somebody knew how to get through the Miami link. So we've established our own trading company called Pillar Trading International that deals with that. We procure green art out of Guyana or any other hardwood to build homes as well. So we've really sought to make that change through it. We also established, we haven't had it launched as yet, but we've registered a company called Things Kingdom. And basically it's a gospel sales store, basically doing with anything along the lines of Christian or focus based in terms of life improvement and so on. So we have 4 for now.
Yes. Just to touch on what Jerry said in reference to Things Kingdom, having God in the middle, center, and forefront of our marriage is very important to us. We have built our lives around it. Our marriage is built around it. We've grown together. I see a better person. I see a more mature person, a more grounded person, a person that I'm happy to know now. I knew what he was then. I know the man he was then, and I know the man he is now. I'm very proud to now say that this man now is my husband. How do you feel?
Well, you've summed up everything. I mean, We've literally, to sum it up, we've literally grown together and matured at the same time. From her experiences, both, you know, it's unique, but at the same time, being married, you tend to see things on a different level. And, you know, all what you've heard older people say about marriage is only when you go for it yourself and you get a true appreciation for why there's certain things they don't tell you until you're there, and we've literally matured to that level. And I'd advise, don't try it. But
sometimes we try to do things and we realize, okay, we're not as young as before. Just yesterday or day before, he lifted me up. And I was like, babes, because before he used to lift me up and fling me over his shoulder and walk with me. I'm like, babes, we're not so young anymore. And I was there in the kitchen and he just came and he just grabbed me and lifted me up. So we still have fun. We still do the things we did 15 years ago for fun, for laughter.
I believe just looking at it holistically, especially from our Christian backgrounds, how we've been raised and our beliefs, I mean, biblically it says we're not fighting flesh and blood. So we knew from that experience, we know it's the devil we're fighting. And every walk of life, we realize that the challenges that we face in our business, the businesses we have, the challenges that we face in our marriage, the challenges that we face even on a family level, we realize that, you know what, anything good, the enemy will fight. And, you know, we realize that, I mean, I remember my grandmother used to say something, a family that prays together stays together. And it is so true, because this is what has kept my family for so long. This is what has kept our marriage. This is what keeps our businesses, because we've realized that, you know what, from God's word it says, He gives us power to gain wealth, and He's the one that's been opening doors for us, connecting us to the right people, both local and regional and international. I mean, 3 years, we've never envisioned that we've been this big and this far, you know, especially for our businesses and even our marriages.
My advice is to put God first. Seek God first, and everything else would be added on to you. If you seek Him, He will truly give you the desires of your heart, be it a husband, be it the job you want, be it the house you want. So in a nutshell, this is my advice, to go after the things of God, and everything else will be added on to you.
You know, before we were married, I never saw in colors. And then now,
they're huge.
They're huge. They're not colors, they're just big. But that's just a joke, you know. We tend to have fun. We tend to have a lot of fun.
You remember the wedding poses?
Yeah, I ain't forgetting that.
That was 3 hours of our lives, but it was worth it.
Bill could have done a magazine with us.
Probably did.
We have 1,000 and something pictures, yeah. So we could have done a magazine. We could have done 2 magazines.
Bill sent us on sleep early. I've never, boy, let me tell you, that's the wildest experience ever.
We got to the hotel room and we crashed.